Hey everybody, it's me Colleen from Moonstone Salts and Spiritual. I wanted to jump on real quick tonight and just chat with you a little bit about Mercury Retrograde and see how you're doing. Share some of my Mercury Retrograde experiences with you so far. And I'd like to do another quick reading for you guys just for tomorrow and maybe for the rest of the week. So, what has been going on with you so far during Mercury Retrograde? We're halfway through and it's starting to get a little bit intense, I find. Today especially, there were, I noticed that there were just like really subtle electronic malfunctions. Nothing major, like, it wasn't like a computer crashing or a phone crashing or anything, but for me, it was like there was just some glitches in the system for certain things, like Instagram wasn't loading, or like an email wouldn't come through. So it's that kind of stuff, and like other things that could happen. People having extreme emotions all of a sudden, like when you hear people say like emotions are running high right now, like that's exactly what's happening. People just seem to be really scattered. Like if you're out in public, just stop for a second and notice the energy around you. If you're somebody who's super energy sensitive like me, you might be able to pick up on these things a little bit more easily than others. Delays happen. We talked about that in my last video about how Mercury retrograde is full of delays. I'm trying to think of an example today. Like I had an order online at my store that is being held for some reason, and a lot of other people are reporting similar issues. Let's see what else. Payments not processing. Instagram not loading. So it's just been stuff like that. There's also been some good things that have been happening too. I personally always have it in my head that I'm not going to do anything during Mercury retrograde and I'm not going to step out of my comfort zone. But this time I did step out of my comfort zone anyway, and things worked out for me, and that happened twice now in the last few weeks. So definitely, don't start anything brand new, but also don't be discouraged from putting yourself out there either during this time, because things could still work out. So when all of this is going on, it's just a sign from the universe that we need to slow down. So when you're encountering delays or malfunctions, or things just aren't working out the way as fast as you would like them, or maybe the way that you would like them to, it's just reminding us to slow down and to have a little bit more patience while this is all happening. And there's only about a week and a half left, so we can do it. We can get through this together. I'm probably like one of the more sensitive people to Mercury retrograde, I would say. I have been tracking it and studying this phenomenon for a decade or more, and just all the impacts that it's had in my life. I just have the wildest stories about it. I should write a book, really. Okay, so some of these things can also lower your vibration. If you're around people that are kind of being a little bit manic or having crazy emotions, like I said, it can work to just lower your vibration a little bit. So things that you can do to raise your vibration up again are listening to good music. And in specific, listening to music that makes you feel good, it makes you feel uplifted. So if you want to raise your vibration, maybe don't listen to any sad songs or stuff that's going to pull you down. Self-care, like getting a massage, for example, or doing something for yourself that you really love. So that can raise your vibration as well. doing any other activities that you enjoy, whether it's alone or with somebody that you love, that can raise your vibration as well. Spending time with people that make you feel good and make you feel empowered and uplifted and energized. So, if you want to really raise your vibration, stop spending time with people that make you feel weighed down and disempowered, for example. Eating healthy foods. And of course, exercise. And exercise is a really great way to raise your vibration as well. Well, that's all that I have about Mercury Retrograde, and I just want to get into the reading now. Oh, and giving back is another really good way to raise your vibration as well. So I'm not going to be answering any personal questions for people today in this reading. If you do want to have a personal reading with me, I do 1-question readings for a really reasonable price on my website at www.moonstonesalts.com. So definitely check that out if you're interested. And I also do longer readings over video chat as well. So DM me if you are interested in the longer reading. Otherwise, you can just order a reading through me, through my website. So I'm just shuffling with the intention now to get the cards to give us some guidance for tomorrow and maybe the rest of the week. So I've got 2 that have come out so far. I'll just see if one more wants to pop out. So what messages do you have for us, the people that are watching and who will be watching in the future, because I will save this video. So one more came out, so I'll just leave it at 3 cards. I like to get as much information as possible for my readings. So the first one that came up is called Empathic Ability. And sorry, can't see that too great here. This is kind of tying in a little bit about what I talked about earlier in this video about the energy, sensing the energy around you. So if you're that type of person where you find yourself to be a little bit more of an empath type person, you might notice changes in energy, even subtle changes. They don't have to be major changes, and they could affect your mood. They could affect the way you're feeling. So it's really important to become aware of that if you're that type of person. And it's tempting to want to just run away from it or hide from that, especially if it does tend to drag you down and lower your vibration. So remembering all the things that you can do to raise your vibration is really important, because that is what can help you get through any of those heavy emotions that you might be sensing from other people around you who might not be so aware of their emotions or how they're feeling or even how they're acting. And it's all about just kind of transmuting and transforming that energy that you're feeling and picking up on. Instead of allowing it to drag you down, channel it. So I always recommend doing a creative project. That's a really good way to channel any of this energy into something productive or creative. The second card is called Do the Thing. Do the Thing. So what this card actually means is it's asking you to go ahead and put yourself out there. And I talked about this also at the beginning when I said that when it's Mercury retrograde, I tend to not want to do anything because I think that it's not going to work out. And I just have that ingrained in my brain, and it's actually not true. So it's just saying to go ahead and do that thing. It could be something that you've been procrastinating about, or something that fell to the wayside, and you just need to finish it up. So just go for it and go ahead and do that thing, get it off your plate. And I guarantee you, once you take care of that thing, it's going to feel like a weight has been lifted off of you. So, and you'll know what that thing is once you hear this card and hear me talk about it. It's always the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the words, do the thing. And the last card is called Get It Together. This is kind of tying into the last card about doing the thing, because this card is sort of the kick in the butt card that's saying, you know what, get it together, you know better, you know you can do better, so do it. And it's sort of like a tough love card, okay? And it's all about living up to or doing the best that you can in any situation, right? I don't want to say like living up to your own expectations, but maybe if that's how you feel, that's kind of what's popping into my mind. And doing better for yourself. Okay, so if you know you should be doing better, or if you think that you could have handled something better, don't beat yourself up over it now, but definitely take that lesson and carry it forward with you so that you can understand how to do better for next time. Because life is just a constant learning curve. Like, we don't know everything, and yeah, it's just like taking everything in stride and carrying what you learn forward. Okay, so I always, one more thing I want to say is on the card, it's saying get organized. And that can really be tied into the do the thing card. When I talked about, procrastination, for example, just letting things go to the wayside. So this is really saying that you need to take care of whatever that is, okay? Because it could be causing a blockage in your energy field, and you want to clear that away as soon as possible. Okay. The last card, I always do the bonus card on the bottom if you've ever seen any of my other readings. And this one is called Self Check-In. Self Check-In. This card is really tying into the reading, and especially the empathic ability card that came up earlier. Self check-in is really all about just that, doing a self check-in. Sometimes we get so caught up in our day-to-day that we lose sight of what's really going on inside of us. And that could be an explanation for why some people have an angry outburst out of nowhere, or, it could be anything, like just a crazy random emotion. It could be because it's time to do a self check-in and see how you're feeling about things. How are you feeling about your situation, your job, your life, your relationships, and how are you doing? How are you doing with everything? Sometimes we get buried under life and all the things that we have to take care of day to day, and we forget about, or we think that there's no time to deal with this sadness that I have. There's no time to feel whatever it is you're trying to avoid or ignore, basically. So this card about self check-in is just asking you to slow down and to think about yourself for a minute. One of the things that this says on here is, so trust your gut feelings to be true rather than denying them. And that's really conducive to growing your intuition, practicing with your intuition. So the more that you develop your intuition, the better you'll become at doing this. And it says stop feeding your curiosity when you know you shouldn't. And what I mean by that is when you get a bad feeling about something or someone, and you know you're having a bad feeling about it, but you know, maybe your intuition has let you down before, so you don't really trust it, and you think, what the hell? I'm just gonna go and find out what this gut feeling's all about. And then you get burned, or something bad happens, and you sit there after and think, wow, I should have really listened. So if you're the type of person that has a hard time going with your gut feeling, it might be worth, for a while, until you can learn to better develop your intuition, to do the opposite. So if you have if you usually want to go for it, even if you're feeling bad, do the opposite. So don't go for it. And, you know, it could work the opposite way. If you think you have a good feeling about something, or in the past, if you've had that and it turned out to be the worst thing ever, and you were like, how could I have been tricked like this? How could I have read that wrong? You know, it could be a sign for you to just, if this is a trend for you, to do the opposite until you can train your intuition to work for you. And a lot of these types of things can also be tied to negative energy that you have attached to you. So it's negative energy attachments. Most people have them and are completely unaware of them at all. So checking in with yourself as well is a really good way to see how you're feeling. And if you're more into the spirituality side of things and energetic, you know, the energetic realms and side of things, could be a good way for you to identify if there's any, you know, really negative things in your life that just have to go. And that could also be causing a block in your life as well. Okay, so that is all I have for you today. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to be posting this video again on YouTube, so you can check it out. And I will leave the link to that in my bio. Definitely check out my store if you haven't already. I have lots of really cool handmade items that are meant for energy healing, and it's just kind of like mystical type stuff. I wrote this deck of oracle cards myself, and I self-published them, so they are also available on my website at www.moonstonesalts.com. And again, if you would like your own personalized reading, I do offer that as well on my Etsy store that you can pre-order with a question. And what I do for that is I work, it's called just quantum energy. So the way that a distance reading like that works is when you place your order for your reading, for example, like you write down the question that you have, and in the quantum energy field, we don't have to be present. It's all energy. So when you think of me, and I'm going to be doing a reading, and then I get your name and your question, there's energy behind that. So I pick up on that energy, and you have also picked up on my energy. So I know it sounds like kind of kooky or whatever, but this is like an actual thing, right? Like people do it all the time. The distance healings and the distance readings is all based on energy. We are all connected energetically. So you don't actually have to be person to person to feel it or to connect. All right, so that's kind of how that works. And I have written a little bit more about that on my Etsy site as well, so definitely check it out. Or you can just drop me a DM and ask me if you're curious, and I can try to explain it in a little bit more detail for you. All right, so I want to wish you guys a really great evening and good luck out there during Mercury Retrograde. I will come on again and do another live reading, hopefully this week, maybe on Friday or Saturday, so keep an eye out for that. And until next time, take care.